Hello from the Yarn Closet in Southern Arizona. I am Laura. I'm your host. Yeah, I know this is one of my around the house like jammy shirts. I'm wearing it because this is not bad compared to what's under here. I got severely burned on Christmas Eve. And I was helping in my mom's kitchen, and it was just maybe two blind people shouldn't be doing the task at hand. She didn't realize her oven didn't function that way, where the door would stay, like you didn't have to have it all the way open. You did, and so it came back and got me. So, I think that was like 3 or 4 eyelashes. So anyway, I got 2 out of the 3 pairs of pants that I ordered. Do you want to hear about it? Let's talk the talk. Hope you had a good Christmas. We'll get back to that. Okay, I got these lovely green ones. I was so excited. I mean, I love the feel of them. They're the perfect color. They're a little carpentry-ish. They said right on the tag, Toad and Company, adult, Mrs., size 10. These are not a Mrs., adult, nothing. This is a kid size 10. I could barely close them. Now, the frustrating part of all of this is I am a postmenopausal woman. I am 53 years old, and our midsections get bigger. Even when you work at getting it not big. And I'm not like busting out heavy weights. I've got a 10-pound weight. I do some standing work. But I'm a little thicker than I'd like to be right now. I also don't like to hang on to things unless I think there's really a chance in the near future that it'll work for me or my kids. So this is probably going on the donate pile. Then I got Talbot size 10, which these are J. Jill size 10. I've had J. Jills before, and back when I was smaller, and felt like they were really good. I got into them. I like them to a certain point, but this waistband part has no indication of it being altered, but it feels just slightly too tight. And it is a riveted button here. It bugs me. Now, I might keep these and see if I thin down enough, because I know I'm holiday bloated. I'm totally holiday bloated. So I might keep these and see if something improves over the next few months and if I can wear them. And I still have a pair of purple pants coming, and I'm really, really hopeful. So there you go. And just donated 3 boxes of stuff. And then when I was at the place, I got 2 new bath towels because my kids' bath towels were a little bit sketchy, worn past. And I got 1 throw pillow and 2 lamps because there was a room that I took the lamp out of, so it had no lamps now. And I like to have at least 1 lamp in a room, so that now has a lamp. And then I might switch the bulbs. And then I had a small lamp that I added into my dining room that would also work as like a kitchen lamp. I might take the lamp. I have a rock salt thing in the kitchen. I might put that, change it. But I like having that by the sink, so I don't know that I'm going to do that. But it looks nice. I don't tend to always do things because of the look of it. I like to have a function, but we are trying to have more lights on in the house. Let me rephrase that. The children and I like to have a few more lights on in the house with certain light bulbs that aren't daylight bulbs as it gets darker. And it's pretty dark by 6 o'clock now. But my husband, and even on days that it's gray, we like to have some lights on. My husband is like a no lights person. So It's very frustrating. I think one of the things about living and growing up in Arizona is you have a lot of homes that have skylights in the bathrooms and the kitchen. So there's usually enough light to get by, and people don't want to turn their lights on because of the added heat. But in the wintertime, when he's complaining about the cold, because their house has really old windows, it's drafty. But then he's always turning the lights off, and it's bugging the kids. And it's part of why there's not more evening family time this time of year. So we're working on it. We're trying. And it was a thrift store lamp, so it was $5 with the light bulb included. So I'm not upset. Even if I re-thrift it someday, it's not the end of the world. I got a few skeins of Lion Brand Pound of Love. Does anyone else feel like this is actually not quite? Some of the colors, it's not even all of it, but some of the colors seem a little thinner. The consistency of the thickness of the yarn seems a little bit thinner compared to some of my other acrylics that say there are 4. And then I got a pair of these bamboo 8mm. And does it say? I think this is around a 30, 32. Here's the thing. If you get a brand name from somebody, buy the brand name. Even if those needles are $20 a pop, buy the brand name. Because there's a reason that they work with almost exclusively that needle. Because although this doesn't feel too bad in the connections, the metal doesn't thrill me. I thought these were going to be clovers or chow-goos. Because I like the wooden clovers and I like metal chow-goos. But metal chow-goo needles do not have a metal cord. I'm not a big fan of the metal cord. But I'm going to give it a shot because the yarn that I was using to do the yellow, orangish cat cave, that just didn't fly. It didn't fly. They weren't using it. They didn't like it. So I donated the white one. I even tried putting a frame inside of it to help. They still didn't like it. So I'm going to try and maybe I want to have something that I wear that I made. And I know my lifestyle has a lot to do with that. I am really finding myself wanting at this stage of the game. So between the last 4 years, between 49 and now, just that thickness in my middle has hit me in a different way. I used to be a size 10 occasionally because of the bloat. My main pants that I wear in a couple different brands are size 8s. But they have a slightly bigger waistband than most 8s. And being at school now 4 days a week as if I have a job, I would like to have some stuff that just has a bit of my style. I'm not a fan of this hair. It's thinned out. It's this. Like, part of me almost wants to go in and get them to dye where the gray is coming in throughout the whole thing, because then maybe I'd feel better about it. It just feels too flat up here. There's not much I can do with it. I don't like getting my hair layered because although that might help to begin with, it tends to make it feel thinner down here, and I don't like that. I don't like pulling it back because of all this whiteness here as much as I did years ago. And yeah, sure, it looks shiny and healthy. I just don't like the way that I don't think it adds to my face. I miss when I had the shorter hair because I felt like it was a little bit more stylish. I got more volume up here. So it's going to be interesting to see how I manage this year. Any recommendations I would love. I'm trying to get back into feeling like I have a style that's me, that's appropriate with this stage in life. And going into a job-like thing now, so much of the time, I want to feel that. And I want to feel good. And when I should feel good. Even though that there's change happening at this stage of my life, I should still feel good. I don't have to be catching the male gaze to feel good, but I just want to feel like my clothes fit me well and that I feel comfortable. So, like and subscribe and give me some comments. I need some direction. So then, my final gift was this quilted bucket bag off of Etsy. And there was no tag, so I don't know. What is this? Oh, I think that's the winter one. We also got some tallow lotion, beef tallow lotion, with a bit of a scent, and my husband really likes it. He's got this autoimmune disorder that takes over his hand at different times, and it's like eczema throughout almost his whole thing, and it's really hard to deal with. And this, okay, it looks a bit shiny, but it doesn't feel greasy, and I like the scents. I'm not over the moon. They're really strong to begin with, and then dissipate pretty quickly because they're essential oil scents. But it's been helping with my knitting and crocheting. And so then we got that bag, and love the bag because it's big enough that I have one of these big whole pound of love in there. And then I have this. I had a bunch of 5-row granny squares, and then I put 2 additional rows around them as I join them. And this ends up being just 1 granny square row shorter than the blankets I've been making for the little kids. So when I get the last 2 squares put in this one, I'm then gonna do 3 rounds or 4 rounds, or however many rounds I can stand to do before I go nuts, of the granny square color, this taupey beigey color, to get at that 2x4 length. Because the thing I like about the 2x4 is that it's a nice length to just throw over your shoulders, and it goes down enough in Arizona to just have a bit of a throw. I might even make like a long scarf in this vein with some of my 9 size granny squares. People are like, what do you mean 9 size granny squares? Okay, so here's the deal. This is your first row. In the middle, you've got your first 4 granny clusters. Okay, so if you count from this first row in the middle, from the middle circle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got 9 rows of granny clusters. But if you count across here, it's also 9. That's how you know what your square is. So each side has 9 clusters on it. It's 9 clusters out, and it's 9 clusters across. That's how I measure my granny squares when I'm making things to put together. Because I might take something like this and do like a bunch of them to just have a big scarfy thing as a throw. I don't know. Because I have all of these. See? Those are not all the ones I got for Christmas. There are a few of them. What I mean to say is the top row I got for Christmas. The others I had. See, and then those are the 6 size squares that I have, and then my big bucket. So I'm going to finish that off and keep trying to buzz away. This is my yarn closet. See? We keep other things out here too. My little jumper, my vibrating plate, a little setup for injured cats if we have them. My window to see a little bit of the desert mountain. I gotta move stuff over so I could use the table more. So yeah, it feels much better in here after the chaos of the Christmas challenge. Having all the presents out here and wrapping and organizing stuff we take into town and then stuff for here. It ended up being a good season this year for us, and I'm quite happy about that. I feel really blessed. Really blessed. We are lucky. And my husband's actually said the same thing a couple times, which has been nice. Because I often don't feel like he and I are on the same page. And we don't communicate very well at this stage in the relationship. Because things are pretty easy and things are going okay. And I think we're all kind of happy in the place we're at. And I think we're lucky for that. Yes, my dad's health isn't great. My mom and stepdad's health are not the best. I mean, but they're doing okay. And there's no hospice right now, right this minute. So I think that's something, right? And the fact that I can go and do this thing at school, and that my son will be graduating this year, and even if he doesn't do anything next year because he wants a break, we're fine with that. His bio dad's back in the picture, and that's going really well. And we're all very happy about that. I think that could be really beneficial to him in his life. I've never wanted them to be separate. Sometimes you have to wait for stuff. You know, not everybody's a baby person. Not everybody's a kid person. Not everybody's for teenagers. And so I'm glad that there was no holding a grudge. So we're kind of in a space of life, and we're trying to enjoy it and get through all the little stumbles. And I don't know. I'm happy to see how the next many months go. Can't believe that we'll be in January here, days. I'm very excited that I've got a couple of dental appointments in the January. So I have like partial fake teeth in the front from different things, breakages and stuff. And I just hate and have hated for years how these look. I have literally waited for 14 months to get these teeth fixed. And I feel pretty confident that this dentist will do a good job. I mean, I've seen some of the other people he's worked on, and he gives sensible advice. And yes, he used to be our neighbor. But I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping that makes me feel better. I really, really hope my purple pants fit, and they fit and are comfortable, and that I can wear them and start to feel a little more myself. It's really hard because the weather is lovely, but nobody else wants to be outside when it's this chilly in Arizona. And because I can't just do things by myself, because I can't just drive there and do them, I'm limited. And then before we know it, we're in the heat, and then it's kind of gross. So it'll be interesting to see how the next 6 months go. I'm glad to have been able to keep up with podcasting this year to the extent that I have. To bring the exercise and the walking into my life to the extent that I have this year, and the nutrition. Everybody's got to find their own path, and I think that there are more impacts to certain people than other people realize. Like, I've never had a situation where I can overtake a bathroom for an hour. That's why a shorter cut has always excited me more. Because once you start to lose that youth thing in your face, that plumpness and that youthfulness to your hair, I mean, it just, you got to choose other things, and you got to try to have a supportive people around you, and you just don't always have it. I mean, Red really thought he was being supportive of Kitty in that 70s show. But y'all know it wasn't really. And not everybody has a relationship with somebody else that wants to give you positive speech and affirmations and encouragements. So I'm trying also to do it myself. This morning, in the walk, and the time before I get out of bed, whenever I can, as I'm doing the things, remind myself that I like the things I'm doing. I like the cooking. I like the walking. You know, I'm proud of myself. I'm happy. I'm in a good place. My kids are good. And just move on from there. Let fear and fear talk go in your head, all that negativity, all the stuff. I got severely burned on Christmas Eve. It's going to scar. Doesn't matter how many burn creams and whatever else, it's going to scar. It's going to take a while to be completely healed. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. My kids didn't get hurt. My mom didn't get hurt. It would have been a much worse injury on her. I was able to not drop the potatoes. And I didn't make a big deal of it so that anybody else was upset or that it ruined the day. I just kept rinsing it, and we're good. It's not the end of the world. I mean, I still have a scar on my shin from last year when I ran into a step stool that I moved in my own house. Part of it is my own tender, pale skin. Bad things happen, and you just deal with it and you move on, and it's usually not as bad as anybody really thinks. It's just not. And I'm coming to realize that life is just about dealing with stuff. You just deal with it the best you can and move on. Just do it. And you make good choices. You don't put yourself in situations where more bad stuff happens. And that's, I think, something we're trying really hard to teach the kids. And I'm trying to do that because that makes it better somehow. Oh my God. Don't be as crazy as me, but enjoy your life and your new year. And I'll see you again in a week, just before we go back to school. Will I still have some sanity left? I don't know. Will you? Look with your heart first, not your eyes.